Are you excited to make a princess dress just like this? Then you've come to the right place. I'm going to show you exactly how this works. And in this video, we're looking at the pattern and we're looking at the instructions real quick. Now, if you want to jump to making the dress, then you go to the video that is linked in the description. And if you're watching on the website, of course, it's the next video along. Here we're having a quick look at the doll, and then we're going to cut our pattern out and the fabric, and we're going to get going. This is the dress you're going to be making. She is absolutely beautiful. She's such a nice princess. And you can see all the different things we've done here. We have got lace down the front and down the side. There are actually princess seams in here, but not in the lining. And in a minute, I explain that to you. And it's really, really cool because you can use the lining part as well for the outside part, that pattern, if you wanted to, if you didn't want the princess line. And then we have got a beautiful skirt. All the pleats face upwards, which I think is really nice. And then of course the piece de la resistance are these beautiful chiffon roses with a tulle that goes around it. And I have also done some work here on the sleeves, and I think that's really cute. And of course, it's really simple because at the back you've got a Velcro closure. Really fantastic. And here are a few tips for your printing out. You want to use Adobe Acrobat Reader DC. And when you print out, make absolutely sure that you print at actual size. And then you want the orientation put to auto. If you put it to portrait, it will actually slightly shrink the pattern, and then of course it's no good because it's going to be too small. Now, for a doll pattern, you may not have any issue with it, but if you're moving on to maybe making something for your girl or boy, then that would be an issue. So you want to make very sure you don't do that. If you can print without margins, that's also very good, so that it doesn't cut anything off. And absolutely have that box fit unticked. You don't want that ticked. You don't want anything on the page fitted to the page, because again, that will shrink it. And if you're printing a lot of patterns and you're wondering, well, which printer should I use? I can recommend to you the Epson 3750. I have bought this printer, I don't know, 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, and this is not exaggerated. I am still using the same ink, and I print an awful lot of patterns, as you can imagine, and I print in full color. It's now getting low after 4 years. So whilst this Epson printer is more expensive to buy, I think it might be around $400 now, because the ink is so cheap, you can literally print, which I think is fantastic. If you want to purchase this printer, I've put it into my Amazon shop, and I'd really appreciate it if you use the link that I put in the description to make a purchase for this printer. And it's actually excellent. Like I said, 4 years and still printing on the same double packet of ink that came with that printer. Let's have a look at the pattern now in detail. We have the instructions and the actual sewing pattern. The sewing pattern will be sellotaped together. Because it's a doll, there is not much to sellotape together, which is great. In your instructions, you always find the contents page, so you can quickly find what you need. I add this page with links to my website, like how to make zippers or to put in sleeves, etc. So you can find the sewing library easily. Then we have a page which gives you the details where to find the video. You've got the fabric requirements, which is quite important. You have got it in inches and in centimeters. So if I talk about centimeters in the videos, most of all, please don't worry about that, right? It is all there in inches too. Then you have a page that tells you how to put the pattern together and how to print the pattern. The pattern explained always tells you exactly how many you have to cut out and what to mark or notch. Seam allowance is always a centimeter. And then comes the layout plan for both the panel skirt and the gathered skirt. I don't like wasting fabric, so I tend to create the fold just so that everything that is double fits on. The panel skirt has a 7th panel, which is a single, which is why I put it on like this. So you move your fabric over to the point that's on your lay plan. Then you put the 7th panel. We cut in from the right hand side so we can create a secondary fold, and we put the other bits on that we need. It just saves a lot of fabric. Then we get to the instructions. They're all photo instructions. I borrow a little bit here from the girl's dress for the application of the lace. That might be interesting for you. You can also watch that video. Of course, it's all on my website. And the final page gives you a few links to other projects you might also like. And in the impressum, you get, again, all the links to get to Instagram, Facebook. And if you want to get in touch with me, please email me at this address, marina@frocksandfrolics.com. For the pattern, you need to check that your square here is 2.5 centimeter. That's 1 inch in every direction. So the way I work my patterns is that I try to put as many pieces on one piece of paper as I can. And if a piece doesn't fit on, I split it into different parts. In this case, skirt A, B, and C for the panel skirt. And if you see these little black triangles, you know, that needs to be put together with another piece. And I added tabs, which makes it much, much easier to put the pieces together. We all know if we put the edges of paper together, it's not that easy. It moves even worse than it does when you have a tab. So the tab makes it much easier. And the dashed lines are these attachment lines, so you know what they're for now. Some people always ask me, what are they for? And do I have to cover them? Yes, you do. So this is the gathered skirt, same applies. The front and the back have pieces A and B. And if you're not sure, on the last page, it gives you a diagram which shows you the pieces that go together. So in that case, it was A, B, and C for the panel skirt and A and B for the gathered skirt. So it's really, really simple. Right, let's cut all this stuff out. And as if by magic, my pattern is cut out. So now I put together all the pieces that have a tab to them. And that is the gathered skirt, as we said, and the panel skirt. So here I'm finding my back skirt, A and B. I make sure that my little square that we have here, so triangle on either side, which makes a square, sits exactly on top of each other. That's how you always know you have the right pieces together. Sellotape it. Beautiful. And I do the same on the panel skirt. Again, we have got A, B, and C, and B has the tabs on it. So I just slide that under A and sellotape it together. And then we're going to do the same on C, obviously. And that's our panel done. It's really simple. I decided to do this technique in 2012 when these PDF patterns were only just coming out, and I thought it was really ingenious. Now there are other things like layers, etc., where people say, are your patterns layered? And all my patterns actually are kind of layered because I do a separate file for every size. So it's not difficult with children. You know, you just pick the size you need and bob's your uncle. So the pleats open to the top, not the bottom. That's quite important. And then you need to mark where the pleats are. So that's these dotted lines. So everywhere you have a dotted line, please put a little snip. So put all your pattern pieces on top of each other when you're done and just snip it all. And we're going to fold up these larger gaps. And it's very simple. You can see where the arrows are, and where the arrows are, you fold it up. And they're always open out to the top. It's really is so cute, this skirt. I have also made an example with a gathered skirt. You can do that. There's so many things you can do, all sorts of princess dresses here. If you want that top skirt as well, all you have to do is just draw it onto your skirt and create a different pattern for that. So let me just show how that works here. From the front here, you just go around like that, and of course it's separate pieces, right? And do the same length at the back, and then you can do a little top skirt as well. For the front, the seams are of course trued, so you can see that goes together beautifully. You have princess seams, which makes the attachment of lace, etc. easier, and it looks really cute. On the inside, you have a lining which doesn't have the princess seams, and you don't have to have them. And I've made my lining out of the same fabric. I think that's a really cool thing to do, but if it's too thick for you, if you have this heavy Duchesse fabric, maybe you want to get a lining. I did it on all my 3 dresses and I actually really like it. Now for the Velcro closure and the closure of the skirt, we have a placket so that we can put it on really easy. And in your video, I actually reduced the placket for the pattern in the end because it was a little bit too wide, and it's exactly 1 centimeter. And for the back, again, I used the same fabric. You need to make absolutely sure when you go cut it out in a minute that you have 2 pairs for the left and the right side. The princess dress sleeves are really simple. It's literally 1 seam, and then we create a tunnel on either side, and the seam will then disappear to the middle underneath it, so that we have an easy time creating these tunnels. Let's cut this all out. Whoopsie, it's already done. So let's have a quick look at what I've cut out. I have marked all my pleats exactly like I just told you. Make sure that when you put all these panels on top of each other, that you actually snip in far enough, not too far, not a centimeter, but a little snip so you can see it, and put these panels together so they look beautiful like that. And that's 7 panels all together, and that actually takes longer than the rest of the dress. I think for me that took a long time. The rest of it was pretty quick. The sleeves, you just need to cut 2, and the back here we need 2 pairs. You don't necessarily need to mark the center back or anything. It's not really necessary. Just make sure you have 2 pairs. We have 1 placket. We have 1 bodice front lining, and you can mark the center there, and you can mark the center then on the shelf front as well if you like, so you can marry them up. But to be honest, it's so small. Is it really necessary? Good practice, but you know. And then have a pair of the side pieces as well. Then we need some tulle, and the tulle is going to go around the skirt. And then we have roses, and you can create bigger roses by having wider chiffon and longer chiffon. And then here I've got lots of little trims that I got to create this beautiful front. You can run your lace either horizontal or vertical, and in the video and the instructions I do it vertical, and in the dress for the girl I did it horizontal. And I show you how that's done in the video for the princess dress. All you have to do is go to frocksandfrolics.com, find the listing for the princess dress, and then click on it. And as ever, everything is also linked underneath this video if you need to have a link to get there quickly. If you have any questions, it's marina@frocksandfrolics.com. Just send me an email or use the WhatsApp button on my website. So here I've also decided in the end to put the trim on. Best to put the trim on when you work the sleeves. We also have some elastic. We have 2 lengths here, 1 longer and 1 shorter. And the shorter one goes on the neckline, the longer one goes on the lower part of the sleeve, which is going over the shoulder. And now we're ready to sew this beautiful dress. If you want to get the pattern for yourself because you can't wait to get started, just visit frocksandfrolics.com, and on the listings page you will find all the video content, and of course you can order your pattern. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next video.